This is part 2 of a conversation that honestly blew my mind the first time around. So if you missed part 1, go search Startups with Stu Dallin Harmon wherever you listen. Dallin spent 10 years building companies at a very high cost. Stress, anxiety, fear, and shame. Until he hit a breaking point, hired a coach, and in just a few years learned more about himself than in the previous 3 decades combined. Today, he is a full-time coach to high performers, founders, and entrepreneurs who want to stop suffering, start thriving, and show up fully for their families along the way. And in this episode, he is coaching me live on air. It's pretty vulnerable on my part, and I kind of hate to share it, but I think it's just too helpful not to. So buckle up. This one gets real. Dallin, welcome back.
Startups with Stu is a podcast for anyone living or wanting to live the startup life, either as a founder or a team member. Your host, Stuart Draper, was a 9-time Inc. 5000 honoree before age 40. This show dives deep into the exhilarating world of entrepreneurship with guests that are seeking advice from Stu for their startup or business owners that want to share their entrepreneurial journey. Listeners always walk away with actionable ideas of what to do to take their startup to the moon. Startup life can feel like a roller coaster ride, and with Startups with Stu, you're likely to turn your roller coaster ride into a rocket ship ride. Get ready to uncover the secrets to startup success from visionary founders and savvy investors who've transformed groundbreaking ideas into thriving ventures.
I'm excited for this part 2 of an episode that I've already done part 1 of. So if you haven't seen it yet, go search up Startups with Stu, Dallin Harmon, and you can find, if you just go to Google, you'll find it on Apple, you'll find it on YouTube, you're going to find it on Spotify, all the places. Go and search it up, and you'll be able to hear Dallin share a lot of his entrepreneurial background and journey. And then you're going to hear him start to coach me, which was a live coaching, something I had never experienced before in my life. My mind was pretty blown and kind of in shock from it all. And so, Dallin, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Stu, and appreciate you be willing to do part 2. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. And so before we dive into like you coaching me, which I'm nervous, I'm a little anxious for that part, but excited as well. And I do like that I'm doing it live because I'm trying to always be okay with people knowing me and being aware of who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with that, and I'm excited about it. But it is a vulnerable thing. To put that off a little longer, let's start with a little bit more of like, how did you get here to where you're coaching founders like me?
Yeah. So I have been building the company. If you watched the previous episode, but I've been building companies the last 10 years, and I did so at a pretty high cost. That's like the short of it. Meaning I did it with tons of stress, tons of overwhelm, tons of anxiety, tons of like the ups and downs, and that I thought was just normal. In terms of, I would ride those waves pretty good. Tons of fear, and mostly just a lot of shame, to be honest. And as a result, because I wasn't showing up in the way home I wanted to in my home, I was like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. So a couple of years ago, I ended up getting help. And because I kind of came to this aha moment. I was like, at the rate I'm doing this, trying to learn how to do this by myself, it will take me years or decades to learn how to do this, to build the impact I want to make in the world while also showing it for my family. Like it will take me years or decades to learn how to do this. And I kind of made the decision. I was like, I don't want to take years or decades. I want to learn how to do this very quickly. And so I hired help, and the coach who helped me, he truly helped me turn decades into days, where I learned more in the past few years about myself, who I am, my impact I can make in the world, relationship with my spouse and my kids, with God, my higher self, in the past 3 years than I did in the previous 3 decades combined. And so
Wow.
when I had all these huge downloads and like growth, and even since last time we talked on our podcast, I'm just going to say crazy, literally my whole world has transformed. Meaning I've uncovered multiple lies that I believed. One just yesterday that was huge, like just massive for me. That change how I view and experience the world in such beautiful, such more elevated and more powerful ways.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was experiencing this in my life, getting help, I was like, I want the people need to know this is possible, that they can do this. They can have it all. It's just an audacious statement, but like you can have a huge impact in your career while also showing up for your family, taking care of yourself. You can do all of it. It's just learning to take back reclaim your time from suffering to empowerment. And so I, the timing aligned, felt right, left VidAngel. And now I full-time coach high performers, founders, entrepreneurs, leaders, and even teams, the people that want it part of their culture, their company, to help them reclaim back their time. And I was actually having a moment the other day. I just remember I was like, holy cow, this is happening. I was like, this is happening. I was like, oh my gosh, how is this happening? How is this unfold? Anyway, I'm just in awe sometimes of just what's happening.
Yeah. Have you been able to already surpass your income from your
Almost.
last job?
No, so I was making really good money with bonuses and salary, but I've almost hit my salary level where I was at. I'm very comfortable.
Nice, dude. Good for you, bro. That's awesome.
No, I was making pretty good bonuses, so not quite yet, but
But from a rewarding happiness fulfillment level, where would you say you are?
Not even a comparison. There's not even like it's I literally was on a call with a client before I got on a call with you. And we had one of those beautiful moments where we had like this connection where he's like, he just got honest with me. He's like, I don't know if I can make these changes. I don't know if I can do this. And I just care so much about him to truly progress in the way that's actually powerful. Long story short is I took him through a model where he literally was choosing between whether to continue to coach with me or not because he didn't want the help. He just like, I don't know if I can do this. And by the end, he's like, holy crap, not only do I want to do this, but I can do this. And it's just beautiful because now he's like totally committed to like because he's done a couple eyes, those type of things, but it's like, it's hard work, but it's also like so freeing to operate this way.
I can relate to that because when I listened to you coaching me last time, I remembered thinking to myself, this is actually kind of like in a weird way scary for me, the idea of changing it. Is it right to rewire something that's like just innate in me? Is that right? I don't know, but here's where I landed. This is where I landed.
I want to hear.
I'm
fascinated. I'm like at the edge of my chair.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm glad I've got you waiting to hear. Look, as a missionary in Argentina for 2 years, I spent time helping people change.
Yeah.
Right. Talking to them about where they were at in life, how they felt about God and their relationship to him. And in turn, very much, how's your relationship with your family becomes a big part of that whole conversation. And I watched people change. And I always believed after that in life, like people can change. Like you're taught, and I think you see a lot in life where it's like, once a thief, always a thief, and sayings like that. And it's like, well, but actually I've seen where someone who was a real sinner, like let Jesus in their life and then really changed. And so I'm excited to see what and how I can change. And I don't want to be afraid of change. I want to welcome it, like, because I want to be the best version of myself and keep growing, not stay the same person.
So let me speak 2 truths here that have totally changed my life. So one truth before we get into it. Any belief that drives you into a suffering state is a lie. Meaning it's not actually you. Not the real you. And if you go in a God perspective, that's the way God created you to be. Meaning fear, overwhelm, shame, embarrassment, sadness, hurt, anger, resent, like that just feels like suffering, right? And if it drives you into that state, the belief does, then it's a lie. That's one truth that has totally changed my life in every single way. The second truth, think of yourself in your best moments, like your absolute best moments. Can you think of one? Like the absolute best moments in your life. Just pick one. You're like, you were so kind, so thoughtful, so considerate, so selfless, so just like, wow, like, and just like a beautiful, sacred, like, this is one of my best moments.
Yeah, I can think of one. Do you want me to share it?
Share it.
Okay. I have not been a very good birthday husband, meaning I'm not good at making my wife's day special.
Sure.
But this year, for her birthday, our anniversary, and Valentine's, like, I nailed it on all 3 of those days. I was like so present. I was so thoughtful. I prepared. I planned for success with those experiences that I wanted to give my wife to help her really enjoy those special days. And by the way, disclaimer, a part of why I don't do so well with her birthday is it's January freaking 5th. It's like the worst day of the year to have a birthday. Everyone is so done partying on January 5th. And so, yeah.
But
anyway,
this year you did it totally different. How did you feel when you were celebrating her, serving her, helping her? Just like describe the feelings.
Oh, it's just like amazing to feel to see her happiness makes me crazy happy as well. And satisfied, like I feel fulfilled when I've done that, and also like in doing that for her, that meant doing things for my kids.
Oh, beautiful!
And right, and so I believe that that's the mix of things that in turn make me so happy, is when the others I love around me feel so.
So what I have found is your best moments. That's who you really are. And the lies are just the cover up of the real you. The best moments in your life, that's who you really are. And then the lies, they just distort and keep us from being our real self, right? Who we really are. So those 2 truths have changed my whole life. Any belief that drives you into a suffering state is a lie. And who you are in your best moments in your life, that's who you really are.
I love to hear that. And can I share like something that I felt that like was really hard yesterday in relation to this?
Let's hear it.
I was not my best self yesterday. Like not even close, man. I had a moment. Okay. Yeah. And I'll share it because I think it's a fun story for people to kind of snicker at me and brighten their day to going, oh, Stu makes these mistakes too. So my daughter has been so sick for like 4 years, and the doctors have tried everything, and the doctors want to try some more things, traditional medicine doctors.
Yes.
And then we've worked with some more naturopathic doctors, and one of them recommended that we might need to test our house for mold, and then in turn do mold remediation to combat the mold in our house that this doctor believes is probably what's really slowly and silently killing my poor daughter.
Oh, man.
And so we spent 40 days in the hospital last year. It's been a real mess. And so I have learned over all of this time to become quite skeptical of all the different ideas that people bring to me of how to fix things.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
And in my skepticism yesterday, in talking with these mold specialists, their job, by the way, they bring this cool dog in that can smell for mold. They have all these tools to take air samples and sample for mold, right? Test for mold. They start explaining everything to me, and they just go into so much detail, and I get impatient. And I'm like, look, I've already wasted well over $1 million. My daughter's gut has scars all over it to prove it, that we've tried everything. And here we go. trying another thing that's also going to cost me thousands upon thousands more to remediate for mold. And you're telling me it's important that we do this, but you took 3 rescheduled appointments to get here. And I was coming at him a little bit.
Yeah.
And I apologized to him because I felt like a jerk and I was coming across so pompous and prideful, but it was my skepticism and anger and frustration and impatience from years, not from the days and months with them.
Sure.
But it all kind of built up, and then I just kind of barfed out at them in a moment of frustration.
Yeah.
My wife was so embarrassed and so frustrated with me that I treated them that way. And I apologized right away. I was like, look, guys, this isn't about you. And I apologize for my frustrations. But I felt this moment of like, oh, that's me. This ugly side of me is me. And it's not who I want to be, but it is me. And so for you to say, Dallin, that the Stu from January 5th of this year, when I really delivered a great birthday for my wife, and the Stu from mid-February on our 20th anniversary trip is the real Stu, like, oh, that makes me feel good, because yesterday's Stu was a real jerk face.
The truth, yeah, I totally get it. I resonate that we all have those moments, and we all would say that is us, right? That's us. But that's not actually what is. What is that we experience the present through the lens of the past, and it's colored by our subconscious beliefs. And if we're believing...
Say that again? That's too good. Say that again.
Yeah, we experience the present through the lens of the past, and it's colored by our beliefs. And then we frame things with our conscious mind. That's how we frame the world. That's how we paint the world. If we're believing lies, we get angry, irritated, frustrated, annoyed, you name it. Meaning it's not the real you. Just the lies we believe. They're not. We're not. You and I are. This is going to sound crazy, but you in that situation wasn't the problem. It was the lies that you were believing that was driving you to that state.
Mm-hmm.
And when we dissociate the two, it changes our relationship, because we're like, oh, wow, that's not actually me. That's actually just lies that I'm believing. I can change my beliefs into what's true, into empowerment. It just changes the game of how you operate your brain, your thinking, your circumstances. It just changes everything. So thank you for being vulnerable and being real. And that was not the real you. That was just the lies manifesting.
Well, I apologized up and down and felt terrible. And I realized, like, I think I was having a conscious reaction of realization that I was believing lies, and I needed to shut it down and apologize for how I was acting. So, but man, I appreciate knowing that that's who I want to be in. And what a cool way to look at the world for all of us, right? To realize we can change, and that the best version of us is who we really are.
Yeah, that's who we really are. Cool.
Okay, so our lie. Should we jump into my lie was?
We discovered, just so you know, you're not alone, Stu. I believe this like 2.5 years ago, like deep part of me, that if I wasn't recognized and seen by the world, that I wouldn't have value. You're not alone. I believe the same thing. So it's totally okay. If someone else believes this, totally, like, this is like such a widespread, pervasive belief, right? So the lie we discovered was the only way for me to be valued and appreciated is to be seen and recognized by the world standards, right? And then on the last call, then I asked at the end, that's when we both were a little surprised. I'm like, do you believe that, Stu? And you're like, not consciously.
Yeah, I honestly felt myself going, wait a minute, you're putting words in my mouth. I never said that. I don't think that, but then I guess, like, as we dove deeper into it, like, there is a root, like, feeling subconsciously of that, right?
Yes. And because those the feelings you described before, like, I felt sad, I felt embarrassed, right? You probably felt like little, likely, in that emotion. Like we discussed before, do those feelings feel empowering, or do they feel limiting?
Definitely it's limiting, which is funny because I think it's pushed me to do things in life.
Totally. Which are useful. There's a difference between useful and powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been very useful in your life to a certain point, right? But the real Stu that can live in more empowerment won't believe this.
Yeah, as I've thought more about it since our conversation last time, one of the things that's kind of resonated with me is this, like, I've something I've like thought a lot about, right? Is there's the 5 love languages, and words of affirmation, bro, is definitely one of my love languages.
Sure.
Like if my wife compliments me, I compliment her 50-1 because I so naturally compliment people, not just my wife. In general, I like to give words of affirmation because I love receiving them too.
So I just sent to you, we're going to now, so what happens to get the brain to believe the truth, because that isn't the only way to be valued, appreciated, is to be seen and recognized. That is not true, right? That objective, if we got in a court of law, a jury would not agree with you that that's actually the only way. Like it's not true. And so what we're going to first do is we're going to shock your brain.
Okay, let's shock it.
So the way we shock the brain is you say, holy snap. It's not true that, and then you read it.
Okay. So it says false belief, self-centered, sad, embarrassed.
The feelings you kind of felt. That was, and then you read the lie that you currently believe subconsciously is the only way for me to be valued and appreciated is to be seen and recognized by the world standards.
Okay, so you want me to say, holy snap, the following is not true.
Yeah.
The only way for me to be valued and appreciated is to be seen and recognized by the world standards. Yeah, not true. Right?
It's not true. Like, this is a lie.
It's totally a lie.
Totally a lie. That is not true at all. We all know that cognitively, right? But deep down inside, something inside you is like, no, I feel like that part of me believes this. You know what I mean? Like, I can feel that inside. So what we want to do is want your brain to believe what actually is true. So Einstein taught that everything has an opposite, right? Physics, everything is opposite. I believe there's an opposition in all things. So because we're believing something that isn't true, that means there's something that is true that exists. So I'll ask the open-ended questions, Stu. What is true? And we're going to discover together, like, what is actually true about Stu that opposes the lie and creates enough energy to oppose it? What's actually, not what you want to believe, but what is actually true?
Interesting.
You can read the lie as you do it and be like, what would oppose this? What is actually true?
So the lie is the only way for me to be valued and appreciated is to be seen and recognized by the world standards. So I can be valued and appreciated without being seen or recognized by the world standards.
Wow. I'm going to invite you to sit with how that feels. How does that feel? I can be valued and appreciated without being
seen and recognized by the world standards. Yeah. How does that sit? Like what?
Yeah. How did that?
I mean, it's like that feels true for sure that I can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think where my head was before you told me that I have this lie that I believe, where my head was I've already tried to tell myself that truth.
Sure.
I've tried to live in that truth.
Sure.
But I know that something I really know about myself in talking this through with you is that I don't always believe it or live with that the truth I try to tell myself.
Totally.
Because I fall back to, I want to be valued and appreciated, and I need to be seen and recognized in order to.
Beautiful awareness, beautiful acknowledgement. So the reason why you haven't quite got your brain to believe it is because most of the time we're spending time, which is what I did most of my life. We spend years or decades reframing our thoughts, which is useful. You can reframe it in useful ways and even true ways. Reframe. Like, think about it differently. View it differently. That's a very useful way to do it. And most of the world does that. It's called self-help. And it's exactly what it's described. It's helpful. In order to create permanent lasting change in the brain, meaning transformation, like self-transformation, we got to not just acknowledge the belief as a lie and discover the truth. We also got to get the brain to believe it. the brain to actually believe the truth. So let me ask you an open-ended question. When you read that truth, I can be valued and appreciated without being seen and recognized by the world standards. Does that create enough energy to oppose the lie in your mind? Or does it need to be stronger? Because it might need to be stronger. Do you need more to it?
I mean, you could add like, I can most definitely be valued and appreciated without being seen and recognized or getting accolades and awards from the world standards.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question that might be even more useful. So a more useful question would be, Stu, what is the highest form of being valued and appreciated? Is it by the world or is it by something else?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What is the highest form of being valued and appreciated?
It's feeling love from my loved ones.
Beautiful. How did you incorporate that into this?
I can be valued and appreciated without being seen and recognized by the world standards because the love from my loved ones is enough.
Now, can I take it a step further if that's okay?
Sure.
I'm immortal. I can't love perfectly. I don't know how to do it yet. You're immortal, and so is your family. Who's someone who can love you and value and appreciate you perfectly?
Oh, for me, I'm a man of faith, so I'd say my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Cool. How would you, if you wanted, if it's useful to you, incorporate that truth into this?
Well, with my loved ones, I would say that he's included already.
Okay, he's already included. Okay, so in your mind, he's already included. Useful. Awesome. That's good context. Okay, so in your mind, he's included with my loved one because the love from my loved ones is enough. Mm-hmm. What feelings does that generate in your body? This truth. And I'll just send it to you and we'll reread it. Read it out loud so people can hear it.
I can be valued and appreciated without being seen or recognized by the world standards because the love from my loved ones is enough.
How's that?
And dude, when I say that, it's like, bingo, that's truth. There's no lie in that.
Yes. And how does that make you feel? Describe the feelings.
Oh, I first went when you read it back to me before it got pasted in the chat here was like, yeah, honestly, as long as I've got that, everything else works out and is okay.
So feeling enough, probably. What else do you feel?
I feel reassured by that. That's like really reassuring.
Yeah, reassurance. Good. What else?
Certain. I feel really certain about it. Like,
yeah, that's beautiful.
I don't question that. Like, for me, I guess what it does is it motivates me. I feel motivated to make sure that I'm doing the things I need to do to have that love and to feel the love. Because whether I have their love or feel that love from them are two different things.
Totally.
Right? Like Lindsay was really frustrated with the way I had treated them yesterday. And, even with me apologizing, she was still, I could tell, upset.
Totally.
And in that moment, I didn't feel like there was a lot of love from her because of that.
Sure. Which is...
But yeah.
Totally.
Go ahead.
Totally get it. So awesome. I love those feelings. I'm just going to keep it as Lakers focused for time-sensitive purposes.
Yeah,
podcast.
Absolutely.
So feeling enough, feeling reassured, feeling certain, feeling motivated. Do those emotions feel limiting or empowering?
Oh, empowering for sure. Motivated to do something and reassured and certain. Like those are feelings of empowerment for sure, right?
Then yes. So the answer is this is true. And now we just want to get your brain to believe it. So the way we get your brain to believe it, I'm going to invite you. We need to find 3 evidences for your brain to prove to your brain this is true in your life that show to your brain this is true. So go back in your life, anytime in your life, where you felt very valued and appreciated, regardless of what was happening in the world, because of the love of your loved ones. Just pick a time in your life, whenever it was, that was like very meaningful to you, that like, because these lies are forged in emotional trauma and they're rewired through emotional empowerment.
Well, and a couple of examples that come to mind is I have a picture of my dad hugging me after I won a wrestling match. And, winning the match was awesome, but being able to have the picture for the rest of my life of that moment of my dad's pride and joy and hugging me.
Yeah, value, appreciating you for who you are.
That's like one of those moments that's like, that's so empowering.
Okay.
By the way, in that moment, I had worked for something that would give me the world's standards of accolades.
Because you got it, but you didn't. None of that mean anything to you because what your dad valued, what your dad cared about you meant way more.
Absolutely meant more. Yeah.
So,
yeah. I almost get emotional
I'm going to invite you to sit in that emotion. Go back to the moment, relive it where he hugged you.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say to you? How did you feel?
Oh man, I don't remember what he said in the moment. I just remember how I felt, which was like on cloud 9. Everything's so perfect in the world.
Feel those feelings in your body. Just feel them, how powerful they are. Just for a few seconds. And as you feel them, read the truth.
I can be valued and appreciated without being seen or recognized by the world standards because the love from my loved ones is enough.
Beautiful. When you did that process, it literally created new neural pathways in your brain to say, oh, this is what we're going to do. We're actually reconstructing past experience, assigning new meaning to your life. So that's one evidence. Give me one more. We're going to find 2 more.
Oh, man. I have so many. I'm very blessed to have lots of times in my life where loved ones.
Yeah. Pick one that's like
really showed their love to me.
The more emotionally potent and powerful, the better. That will get your brain to believe the truth.
The moment of my son Tate leaving on his mission at the airport and the feeling of like love for him and his willingness to go do what he feels God wants him to do, and the feeling of like all of my wife and kids there, all of us with a feeling of sadness for him leaving, but also of like deep love for and admiration for him and what he's doing, was like one of the highlights of all of my life for sure.
Wow.
As hard of a day as that was.
Yeah, it was probably a reciprocal feeling of like, I value, appreciate him, love him so much. And you felt that kind of in return of like this kind of back and forth between you and him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to invite you to relive that moment for 5 or 10 seconds. Just relive it. Be there. Go there again. Your brain doesn't know the difference between past, present, and future. It has no idea. So just go back and relive it and feel it for a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know when you're like, oh, I'm totally there. And I remember how it felt when he was leaving and walking away.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, read the truth as you feel those feelings.
I can be valued and appreciated without being seen or recognized by the world standards because the love from my loved ones is enough.
Beautiful. Okay, one more. And where, if you read the truth, which part of it do you think needs more reinforcing? It needs to have evidence that proves this part of the truth. If you were to just gut check it, look at it and be like, I want to find evidence for this specifically that proves this part of the truth.
I think the part that like is the most important is remembering the love for my loved ones is enough, right? Because if you are needing this to be seen and recognized by the world standards, then the opposite of that is that I don't worry about that as much as I worry about what I get out of the love for my loved ones. Beautiful. Right?
Okay, find the most meaningful moment that you can possibly think of where the world would say that was the only way to be recognized, but you're like living a totally different experience because you're like, no, what my loved ones thinks about me, that's all that matters.
Huh.
And can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
I would not be surprised because I've been through it too in terms of like startups and investing, and have had, some things that have worked out, right, in terms of investments. I'm guessing when you made some resources, right, had some things happen, you probably had moments, I did at least, where your spouse or your kids were like, wow, we made some money. But then your wife is like, but honey, that's not actually what matters. We're just glad you're with us. We're just happy that you're our dad or husband. I'm guessing you had something like that happen.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's a very unique experience that only those that have a large payday ever experience, because people will always talk about, like, oh, it's not the money, and I promise it's not about the money. No one actually in their heart of hearts wants to believe that. They want to say, he's just saying that because he's been there and done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So go back to a moment where that happened, and what happened? What did your wife say, your kids say to you that you're like, none of this matters?
Well, I don't know if they've ever like straight up told me none of this matters to them.
What happened? I'm curious. What happened? I don't know the situation. I'm just saying what happened to my
Yeah.
So happened to you.
Okay, so I'll give you an example from this. And this will be a good way to wrap up this episode too, I think. So Friday we have a payday, and it's in the morning. Listen to this story. So I drive up the mountainside to get down to the lake where we're gonna water ski and wakeboard and wake surf with the marketing department. They have won an award. The marketing department of Stu Kent gets to go and play at the lake. In the morning, I take a call, and it's with the attorneys, the private equity group. They're checking with everyone. Hey, here's your final signatures on the documents. I have Stu's documents signed. I have Mike's documents signed. Everyone's documents are signed, right? Okay. Well, the wire has just been approved, and you will see your money. It should hit your bank account. We'll need verification from you later today that it came through. So I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And without waiting to see, I went out of cell service to go spend the day at the lake with the marketing department.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like on cloud 9, having such a fun time on the lake. It's amazing. Anyway, we get to the finish line of that, and I get back up into cell service. And confession Friday here, I or whatever, it's Thursday today, but I'm driving down the hill, and I can't help but like log into my bank account on my phone while I'm driving, and I check to see, did the numbers show up? Are there the new zeros there? And sure enough, boom, like, oh my gosh, it's real. It's there. And I call Mike Andrus, the CFO. I'm like, Mike, I just need a moment with you because and you see, and you also had a payday, like, and we just scream at the top of our lungs on the phone in excitement for this moment of like it happened. All the work of 10 years, it's happened kind of thing, right? Well, then I call my wife, and I'm like, Linz, it happened. And she's so happy for me in this exciting moment. Dallin, the next morning is Saturday morning. I don't have to work. And it's like, I look at the bank account again just for like, is this a dream? No, it's real. And then it's like, what does the family want to do today? Right? And I remembered like Tate had some plans already. Sydney had some plans already. It's not that they didn't love me or want to hang out with me too, but they had things they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, this is like, we got to celebrate. We got, in my mind, but like, I hadn't pre-planned that with them.
Sure.
I hadn't told them like, this is the day it's going to happen, and we're going to go do something fun. So life was a normal Saturday, and it felt so wrong that it was just a normal Saturday. And I felt a little bit of this like, wait, the world is going to hear, the world is going to know, and the world is going to admire that I had this payday. but it does not matter if my family doesn't want to celebrate with me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was like a really good wake up call for me to ensure in my life that I always built and kept relationships with my loved ones, with or without money. I wanted them to love me for the fact that they wanted to spend time with me on a Saturday, you know? And, you know, there's still Saturdays where they have other things, and that's okay too. But that's an example from life of like
This is what
feeling like,
matters. This is what actually matters.
yeah, this is what really matters, you know?
Yeah. Beautiful. So let me ask you a couple questions before we wrap up. So I'm just going to see if your brain's rewired. I'm just going to ask you a question. Just tell me what resonates and what doesn't. So,
Okay.
can you be valued outside of this world if you're not seen or recognized by the world?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can.
And do you truly believe that when you sit with that?
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel like I still want it. I still would appreciate it.
Well, of course.
And
Yes.
I still like it.
Yes,
but,
yes.
But I definitely am okay without it.
Yes. See, so that's the shift when you know you've changed a belief. It's not necessarily the circumstance change or whatever. It's just the meaning we assign to it and the relationship we have with it changes. Now you're like, oh, I would like to have it. That's enjoyable. That's nice, but I don't need this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
you know what? I don't need this. So yeah, that's good job. Well done. This is
okay.
Just the beginning of what's possible. But yeah, you just got to taste.
No, it's I honestly went into this like, it'll be fun to get coached, and like that's gonna be enough for me because I haven't needed it. I don't need it. I'm okay, you know. And now you've done such a good job. I've really appreciated it, and I'm considering like, how do I get more? Like, what are the other things that I should work on? Because I think what's happened here in this episode is I've realized that something I didn't know I needed to work on, I've now been able to work on, and I can keep working on it after this. And as I work on it and implement it, if I feel so much better because of it, then it's like, I'm going to come back for more of that, right? Like, I want to go, okay, what else can we work on?
Yeah,
you know?
The truth is, the people, and to be transparent with you, Stu, it would be a gift to serve if you wanted to help. But if not, that's okay. Just to get to know you. Like, you're an incredible person. Who you really are is what I see. That's who you really are. And the truth is that the people I'm meant to serve are people who feel like God is asking them to make a huge impact in this world, way beyond, and show up deeply present with their family simultaneously, both, because that's my life. And those are the people I really believe that God is going to allow me to be able to serve some of the greatest entrepreneurs and founders of this world. And so it would be a gift if you wanted to help, but if not, that's okay too.
That's cool. Well, it'll be fun to talk more. I wanted to quickly share something that stood out to me, and it probably wouldn't have had you not been coaching me on this. It stood out to me because you're coaching me on this. And I've heard something similar, but it stood out more this time. And I love that about coaching, that when you focus on something, then all of a sudden other parts of your life, you'll start to recognize it more. Right.
Sure.
So a friend of mine named Chad Willardson, he's been on the show. If you want to go search up the Startups with Stu show and type in Chad Willardson, he's a great follow on LinkedIn. And I'm sure you've
he's
seen
awesome.
him. Someone asked him, his friend asked him this morning how he dealt with people who judge or criticize him online. And his answer surprised his friend. He said, I told him it's easy to ignore the haters because I don't get ego puffed by the praisers either. I don't inhale the compliments, so I don't spiral over the criticism. And my confidence doesn't come from anything external. Here's the definition of success that matters most to me. The people who know me the best love and admire me the most. My wife, my kids, my parents, my business team, my closest friends. Those are the people who see everything, the real version of me, my weaknesses, my failures, not the highlight reel, just me. And so
That's beautiful.
When I think about the coaching you just gave me and rewiring myself to this truth, I can be valued and appreciated without being seen or recognized by the world standards because the love for my loved ones is enough. I go, aha. What I read from Chad is actually what I believe is a truth right here. And I'm grateful for it. And I'm grateful for the time we spent here today.
Thank you.
So,
what a gift. Thank you. It's you've barely just scratched the surface of what's possible.
So cool. So Dallin Harmon, thank you so much for coming on the show. You guys go follow him on LinkedIn. He's a great follow there, and reach out to him on LinkedIn if you want to hit him up for some coaching. Because as you've seen, he does a great job and it could just change your life. And it might help you take your startups to the moon, which is what we talk about and what we do on the Startups with Stu show.
Peace.
Thanks, Dallin.
See ya.
Thanks for joining me on Startups with Stu. We have big goals to help millions of entrepreneurs. If you enjoyed this show, please take a minute to share it with someone else that needs to hear it, or leave a review. Remember, success is within reach for those who dare to dream big and take action. Until next time, keep pushing forward on your entrepreneurial journey.